Join me in welcoming Pat Miller. Hey, Pat, how you doing today?
Good, Steve. How are you?
I am doing really good on this snowy morning. Um,
Oh, lucky you.
oh, just a little bit, but it's going to get worse. So here we go.
Yeah.
uh, so tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Well, as per my book, I wear a lot of different hats. I show up in my world every day as a commercial contractor in New Jersey. I build large commercial buildings for corporations and big developers. As of now, I'm a number one international best-selling author, so I can add that to my resume. But basically, I build commercial buildings for a living.
I love that. I really, because I've read your book, I really half expected you to say I'm a hairdresser.
Well, that was my go-to when nobody believed what I did for a living. And then all the guys, if you read my book, they would ask me for a date and then ask me for a job. So, I kind of went, under the radar a little bit. Say, yeah, I'm a hairdresser. And I twirl my hair a little bit. But, you got to do what you got to do, right?
That's absolutely true. The book is called Kicking Karma's Ass: Unbelievable Stories of Strength, Resilience, and Perseverance, all told with a twist of humor. You're going to get to hear some funny stories today. So tell us a little bit just about what encouraged you to want to do the book.
Well, a lot of things encourage me, Steve. I think it's important. Like it's in the book. I think I had a couple bonus stories as well to explain, how this all materialized. So, as you know, in the book, I went through a lot with my husband being sick, and then I sat and I realized afterwards. I took a deep breath and I'm like, wow, I've been, not only this has been a long journey. So I started going over my life and I was like, okay, remember when that happened? Oh, remember when that happened? And then as I started coming out of my shell a little bit, I started going out and sitting and having dinner and talking to different people because I'm a social person by nature. And everybody I would tell the story to, I just give them a little touch, just a little bit. They're like, you really should write a book. You're so inspiring. I think you could help other people. Don't lay in bed, get out of bed. You could still do it. I had to start my whole life over. It was like from getting a straight, you know, blank board. I had to start all over. I built a business with my late husband and it all went out the window in 2 years, spent my life savings. It's all in the book and I was deep in debt and I had to start all over. I woke up, nobody was in bed next to me. And I said, you know what? I think I can inspire people, if anything, inspire people to understand that life's not over, even in your 50s. You could do it. You could start over. It takes a lot of work. You're going to have to work faster, obviously. You're not taking 20 years to build it. But that's why I wrote it. I wanted to help people who are in a dark place, not just death, grieving. It's about life. It's about everything. It's about loss. I always say to people when I say I'm sorry about your divorce, and they're like, "Why are you sorry?" I'm the best thing that ever happened to me. I said, it doesn't matter. Anytime you have a loss in life, it affects you emotionally. So it's still a loss. It's still starting over. It's still trying to find yourself in a different character of life. So that's exactly why I wrote it. Hopefully, I help some people, inspire them, give them wisdom.
It's such an amazing book, and you do have a fun way of taking some of those really difficult things like divorce and death and things like that, and not leaving us at the place where we're just like depressed after we read about it, but putting a little bit of humor in there and going through and still realizing that sometimes all you can do in life is just laugh.
Yeah, that's exactly right. My humor brought me through so many dark places. You have to go, is this serious? Like, is somebody recording this? Is this like the Truman Show? So, it was important to me in the writing process that it remains real life, yet comical. It's not supposed to be a depressing book. It's supposed to be about life and how, I got knocked down. I got knocked down legal. I got knocked down personal. I got knocked down financial. You have to realize that it's part of life. You're not going to change it. You have to react to it. So it's not what we do, it's how we react to it. You can't, sometimes you just have to laugh. Like, come on, is this really happening? It's so funny, but it is what it is. I'm finding every day something new happens to me, Steve. Got to put a little camcorder on my shoulder and start recording some of the stuff. But
That could be a lot of fun.
well,
Got to
it
get you a
will.
little GoPro for your
Yeah,
construction helmet.
that's what I always said to my guys. I said, one of these days I'm going to walk in here with a Patty Pro here, and I'm going to record all you guys. So you'll be signing disclaimers pretty soon. They're like, no, Lady Boss, don't do that. So, but yeah, I'll be back on site this week. Um, it's holiday time. Things shut down a little bit in construction for the end of the year. But I'll be back on, and trust me, I'll be the first one to get that, out to record it when something funny happens.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
speaking of funny things, doesn't really matter which one, but just tell us one of the fun stories from your book in your life.
Oh God, there's so many of them. I think from what the feedback I've been getting from people, I think the funniest one is you know the super that kind of changed my life from the beginning of the book. He was caught doing inappropriate things in his SUV, and then he kind of circles back to being the guy who actually helped me through my grieving process. But the funniest one for me personally is when I was sitting in a new job meeting with 21 men, and they thought I was a dumb blonde delivering payroll. So, and then they started talking to me in that manner. And when the people who knew me, like the architects and the engineers and the project managers, when he started, it's in the book, I'm sure you read it, when he started talking down to me and tell me he'll only allow me to put 20 boards on the fifth floor, it kind of didn't rub me too well. So nobody kind of allows me anything. I'm my own woman. So I have to be in this industry. So, I basically told him to keep his mouth shut, to follow me, and I put the building where it's supposed to be. I actually lay the building out. If I do it wrong, nothing else works. So, I respect all the trades, but he was happened to be an electrician, and it was a funny story because, it kind of was a split screen, so to say. The guys who knew me and the guys who never met me. So the guy who didn't met me did talk down to me. It didn't work out too well for him. So, I basically told him off in a nice way in front of everybody. I didn't want to insult him, but he insulted me. He insulted me by talking down to me, disrespecting my, my knowledge and my, in my industry. And he thought he could take me to the ringer and just sit there and be quiet, is basically what he was saying. You sit there and look pretty, and I'll tell you what to do on the job. And it didn't work out for him. He was gone in 3 days. So I thought that was funny. I really did.
I
So,
love that. I, w- I was thinking both when I was reading it and then again now. Most of the time when we think of construction workers, we think of, the girl in high heels walking by the construction site and all the guys catcalling.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's true. Construction's come a long way. I had this conversation with someone the other day. It's come a long way. There's a lot of women in construction now. I'm no different. I started over 30 years ago, and it's come a long way. There are a lot more women on site. I'm a little bit different, where I'm actually on site with the blueprints and I'm snapping lines with my fingers. So I actually lay the building out like I told you. But it's come a long way, Steve. But unfortunately, in my lifetime, it's not going to come. It's not going to do a 180. There's still those guys that don't believe women should be in the field. It's a guy's place. They're still there. They play a good part. They act like they want equality, and oh, it's okay that you're here. But you hear the comments afterwards. Sometimes you're on the other side of the wall. They don't know you're there. So, it's, the job echoes a lot. So sometimes, it's just not there to that point. But, like I said in one of my bonus videos, when they find out I'm the boss, the whole attitude changes. Oh, she's the boss. Oh God, you know, I asked her to go to lunch yesterday, and then it becomes comical. I just, like I said, I want to get a job done. I get paid. It's a great thing if we make friends along the way, but we're all there to make a living. So that's how I make my money. Yep.
The story is definitely a very personal story of your life, but what are some things that people can learn about kicking karma's ass in their own life?
You're absolutely right. It is a personal story. I try to lay the foundation of who I am and where I came from. And it was important for me to tell the story that way because of my accomplishments, that I was able to become financially stable. I was able to buy myself some luxurious things, which doesn't define who I am, but it made me feel real that, if you set a goal, um, I want people to know that if you set a goal and you work hard, and you do those 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks, and you do accomplish something, it's okay to buy things that make you happy, that give you an out. Material things don't make me happy. I have pickup trucks, I have race cars, I have a lot of different vehicles. I happen to like vehicles. I take them out at sunset, and that's how I release my stress. I take a nice ride through the horse country, and it kind of relieves my stress. I want people to know that, look what happened to me. I went through this and I still kept going. I went through that and I still kept going. And then I came this and I still kept going. And then I found myself in the middle of medical shit. And I was like, oh God, how am I going to handle this? Well, it was too big for me. It was above me. I can't make everything right. I'm a fixer. I like to control things. I like to make things all better for everybody. That's my nature. But this was above me. There was a higher calling per se, if you want to believe. I don't know what your listeners believe in, but I got to the point where I couldn't win the battle. I lost my husband, I lost my mother, my brother, my father, my husband in 3 years. And it kind of makes you stop right in your tracks and say, okay, what's going on here? I'm sure it's happened to other people, but for me, on a personal level, I was like, I have to reinvent my life. I don't even know why I'm here. You try to dig through all the shit that happens to you from childhood, and it all molds us to who we are. I often say life is full of choices. Some we make on our own, some are made for us. And the ones that are made for us, we have to react to, and that becomes our future destiny. So, I want people to take away from there, to see that things can happen to regular people. I'm just a Jersey girl, right? I build commercial buildings. I always say I'm just a girl from Jersey with a bad attitude, and dropping the F bombs everywhere. It just happens to be my industry. But I'm real. I'm normal. Things happen to me. Things will happen to you. It doesn't define who you are. You have to get out of bed and you have to keep going. And it's a cold world. It really is. Nobody was ringing that doorbell, with red balloons and a big check from Publishers Clearinghouse, right? Nobody was going to pay my bills for me. So I had to get out of bed and I had to do it. And I want people to understand, yeah, it's a personal story about me, but I'm sure I can relate to other people, Steve. I'm sure, bad things happen to good people every day, just like good things happen to good people. You got to take the good with the bad. My father was the smartest man I knew with a seventh grade education. He taught me so much I could not even believe when I reflect back. He taught me about life, how to survive. You got to take the good with the bad. So, I try to live my life that way. I wanted to tell my story, and hopefully it inspires people. Hopefully, if I touch one life, hopefully I touch a million. Then I have accomplished what I want to accomplish. And from the feedback I'm getting, it's happening, Steve. People are very touched.
I
So
love that.
yeah. And I'm happy about that. I really am. I'm happy that, I can pull people out of a dark place, like my saying, life is for the living. If you're not living, you don't have a life. And it's a deep saying. There's so many people trapped inside their mind on a daily basis, and they get up and they're like robots. They get up and they do the same thing every day. They go to work, they do what they're supposed to do, they pay their bills, and it's like Groundhog Day, like I said. But you have to live. If you're not living, you don't have a life. You have to enjoy the things that you enjoy. You have to splurge a little bit. You have to go on vacation, even if it's a small vacation. Even if you take a ride like I do. I took a ride. I take a ride through the horse country. It's beautiful. It's relaxing. Waterfalls. It's very relaxing to me. It resets me, resets my energy. I have to be by water. I'm not far from the ocean. I'll go down there and I'll just walk the boardwalk and I'll listen to the water. It's very grounding. It's important that we stay grounded in our life.
Absolutely. The book is called Kicking Karma's Ass. And you did do some bonus videos and stuff. If you go to kickingkarmasass.com, give us a little taste of what they can get there.
Basically, they'll just drop their email and name in. We're not going to spam anybody. We're just trying to get a count for any future releases and books like that. And then they'll take them to a second page. And on that second page, we'll have 5 bonus videos, every little tips about stuff that the detail of the things that we didn't go into in the book, about signs and insurance, life insurance, how I didn't get the payout. And it also has, a little blurb about my ex that I got in there. I'm sure that's funny to everyone. But that kind of circles back to people coming in and out of our lives for a reason. So we have to figure out why everybody comes in. Some people come in for a short period of time, Steve. They call them boosters, right? They boost you. They're only there for a little bit, but they boost you to where you need to go. They're there for a reason, whether you're learning emotional, financial, business. So they'll find a variety of different things. There's 5 topics. I think they'll find them interesting. I did. I enjoyed making them with Lonnie Ray. I think they'll enjoy them. I did. So I've gotten some feedback on them as well, and people are very happy with them.
To get those bonus videos, you can go to kickingkarmasass.com. You can also get the ebook for free today on Amazon. The link is in the description. Get the book, Kicking Karma's Ass, Unbelievable Stories of Strength, Resilience, and Perseverance, all told with a twist of humor, by Pat Miller. Pat, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the show today.
Sure. Thank you, Steve, for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.